Hey, we are live. Live in it's been the first live in a minute, and I just had to because I see a lot of worst of list and such, and I go, no, are you kidding? They put Exorcist Believer right at the bottom. You haven't seen enough horror movies yet. So let's just talk about some horror movies and answer questions and all that. This should be fun. All right, here, let's start off. I guess you got, dude, because look at this. I don't even have Exorcist Believer anywhere near the bottom. Like it's really not that bad. Or I saw somebody go like Winnie the Pooh's the worst. No, man, you have to watch Anya's, man. That one was a hunk of shit. It's barely even considered a movie. Like there's these movies that came out this year that it's even hard to consider like a feature film. It's like a movie, there's no dialogue, and I guess everybody started to do that, dude. Like, you know how back in the day it's like dialogue heavy after like Clerks or something like that? Anya's Men, Skinamarink, Silent Night, that one alien movie, No One Will Save You. They all didn't have dialogue, but then all of a sudden now they're uh it's like a whole different genre. So Anya's Men, you suck. Shit. I probably got to do a ranking where you got to like introduce each one, not just like ramble off one. There's probably a way to do that on like Letterbox. So Anya's Men, Nefarious. Nefarious is a hunk of shit too. Like I tried to watch it, and basically it's like some of these are even hard to finish at one time. Nefarious was a hunk of crap. Brooklyn 45 was on Shutter. That wasn't that great. Skinamarink, of course, but some people loved it, some people hated it. Fear, like all these things are at least better than it's at least better than at least it's a step above like Exorcist and stuff like that. But something in the barn that was a big disappointment. Here, let me see. Oh, we'll go over some trailers and shit too. Because that Abigail trailer was pretty cool. Like we got like Killer Vampires is like back. All right, here, let's see. Hunter Killer. I didn't see anybody talk about Hunter Killer. Like that was actually pretty cool, but it's sort of a little middling, you know. Like basically there's redeeming qualities in these other movies like Five Nights at Freddy's. Like dude, I was so let down by that. That was supposed to be like the biggest horror movie off the channel sort of and everything for October, like how Halloween Ends was and Halloween. But damn, dude, it sucked. This October sort of low key sucked. It sort of like killed horror off for a couple of months. It seemed like Exorcist Believer everybody hated, and then Five Nights at Freddy's everybody hated. There wasn't like a unanimous liked movie for a while. Then we got Night Swim to come out too, and that still didn't do shit for anybody. But Insidious Red Door is just probably a hair better than that. A lot of people love No One Will Save You, but dude, the dialogue, no dialogue and everything is kind of tough to get through. Hey, what's up, Blade? Yeah, Five Nights at Freddy's was awful. I don't see anybody putting that on their top 10 list and everything. Maybe we'll roast some of other people's list or such like that. But I like the letterbox version. You could just see it, like it's very visual. Yeah, Five Nights at Freddy's, like, and it's supposed to. I talked to some teenagers though, and everything. Like my nephews, they love it because it's sort of like the games that convoluted and messy, and that's what those games are about. But when you apply that to like a movie, it doesn't make any damn sense. It was like five dream sequences. You have too many dream sequences for not being a Nightmare on Elm Street movie. Do you know Craig and Smokey? Yeah, from Friday, right? Okay. Or Smokey was Chris Tucker, right? I forget what Chris Tucker's name was in that movie. Insidious Red Door, a little bit better than Five Nights. And there's big debate if Beau is Afraid is even a horror movie because it's just by Ari Aster. Like, if he didn't make Hereditary and Midsommar, would you even consider Beau is Afraid a horror movie? Like, it wasn't scary. No one's like, oh man, you should not let your kids watch Beau is Afraid. It will freak them out. It's almost like, yeah, if you're 40 years old or above, it's like all those anxieties you get, like, oh man, do I need to take water with my medication, stuff like that. Oh, my mother, all this anxiety stuff. That's why it's sort. I could see it either way, be considered like a horror movie or not. But no one will save you. That one goes on. That one goes higher on a lot of people's list. But dude, it didn't have any damn dialogue. Like, if you would give me any dialogue, I would have put it up like a little bit higher. Cause it's like shit. Even if you're by yourself, I thought I would be like, oh fuck, aliens or something. I don't get it. Where even movies where there's no other characters, you still don't say anything. Like, I don't know. I don't dig them. Let's see what else. Knock at the Cabin. It was cool, but every time I was like, oh, I liked it. Look, I like that one. I liked it a bit more once I saw it, but every time like I was like thinking about turning it on again, it kept dropping a couple of spots. I watched 5-10 minutes of it and I go, no, you got worser, worser, worser. What's another? I didn't do a review for It Lives Inside either. Like, that one was boring. It's another one of these like PG-13 horror movies. Like, dude, a lot of these, if you were just rated R, you would have did a little bit better. Like PG-13, 13 movies. Who are you for? Because I remember what Halloween 6 came out. I was watching that. I wasn't able to buy a rated R ticket. I knew somebody at the ticket, like my friend's sister worked at the movie theater, let me in all the time, or they knew my parents, and it was cool. But yeah, it's like PG-13. I was 13 going to see all these movies and everything. I was seeing Hellraiser and Halloween and all that in theaters. So I don't know why they even fuck with PG-13 movies. The only way PG-13 movies make sense is Five Nights at Freddy's. That's why they're all sort of like in that category. Insidious, Five Nights at Freddy's, It Lives Inside, all sort of like, dude, if you were just rated R a little bit or something, you would have moved up the list a little bit more. Do you know Joker 2019? Yeah, dude, it's like one of the most successful. It was one of the most successful videos on my channel for a bit. That held the number one spot for a bit. I did a video about Joker, a Joker kill count, and actually it's like 400,000 views or something like that. And that was like my biggest video I did up to that day. It's still like my top 10 or so, top 4. I don't know. That's why it's like anytime I'm covering Joker because that is a horror movie. I'm not covering other stuff like Beekeeper or whatever. If it has like cool kills in it, because Joker to me is considered like a horror movie. It's like a serial killer clown in New York, of course. But yeah, that's one of my most anticipated movies coming out is the next Joker. Influencer. If you didn't see Boogeyman, same thing. PG-13 star sucks. Knock at the Cabin. PG-13 star sucks. Like, dude, you really got to do something really good to be like a good PG-13 horror movie. And probably one of the best PG-13 ones out of this whole list. I don't know. I'll get to it, but maybe Boogeyman. But that one sucked too. Like it, so now it's like, dude, I even got the Scream Unseen thing that was coming. Like you get to see a secret screening coming up for AMC, and it says one of them is they're both going to be horror movies. One's like the 29th or something like that, rated R, and the next one is going to be on the 5th. which is going to be a PG-13 horror movie, and you go, damn, dude, I don't know what. There's no PG-13 horror movie I'm actually looking forward to, so I don't know. I hope at least the radar one's good. Ooh, Influencer was cool too. I wish I would have done like a kill count on that or something like that. Do you know One Night at Flumpty's? What is that? Like the porn parody? Five Nights at Freddy's? Is that a recommendation? I don't know. I don't know what Flumpty is. Let's see. VHS 1984. All everyone the VHSs are like a complicated series because you go like, dude, I really don't like found footage. And when you throw in anthology on top of it, I don't sort of fuck with anthology movies either. Like it'd be even cool if anthology movies were more like just like double features, just have like one or two. But when they get like five of them in there, like you don't get time to invest in any character or something like that. Besides Creep Show, I don't really like most of them. Body Bags was sort of cool. I'm pretty sure there's a couple of them that are better, like Trick or Treat. But yeah, not it's really not my thing, but it was still better than a lot of these other ones. And the Nun too, I'm surprised it's up here. I go, dude, that first the kill was cool. It was actually sort of rated R. I did not dislike it as much as other people, but I thought it was pretty cool, and they had to use the wine to kill the nun. And look, Winnie the Pooh is all the way up here, number 23. Like I saw a lot of people doing like the 10 best, like the 10 worst, and it came in number 10 or something like that. Like, dude, I really liked it at first, and I think it's even cool if you show like I think one of my nephews watched Winnie the Pooh, and they're like, "Oh yeah, it's sort of a good time. It's just a bunch of like they show Christopher Robin in there. They didn't show a couple of like he was basically relegated to like only the first act and shows up at the very end. And hopefully the sequel's gonna do much better. But it did well on its budget, and the dude had like B powers, and some of the kills were cool. So man, I had a good time with Winnie the Pooh, and I'm looking forward to that sequel. I remember the video popped off for my channel too, man. It was doing like really well till I got like a copyright strike on it, and then I had to say like, "Hey, it's not bootleg footage. I just made it out of the trailer and such." But yeah, Winnie the Pooh was cool. It could have been cooler, but I think it was a good like first entry. Like you got what it was going for, and I'm looking forward to all these sort of like the Mickey Mouse Trap movie, Steamboat Willie, the Bambi horror movie. I'm gonna be covering all that. I'm gonna even go be covering the trailers to it and everything. Malium was pretty cool, number 22, because it's a remake of The Last Shift, and it's just a bigger budget. And I don't think it's even on streaming anywhere. I'm trying to find like where Malium is at on anything. And it's like police officer. It's basically just like a haunted house sort of movie. Like you remember that movie like Haunt a couple of years back? Like if you like Haunt, like it's just balls to the wall, like almost like it's balls to the wall after like the last like 30 minutes. It's like that, covered in blood and demons everywhere and all that. But it doesn't seem like anything that great. And I don't see a lot of people mentioning Malium anymore in like any of their lists, but I actually saw it on some worse list. Like, damn. And then Infinity Pool, that's another decisive one. Like, some people really loved it, some people really hated it. I'm like sort of mixed about it. I still need to sort of go rewatch it. It's on Hulu now, but and Mia Goth is a queen. She's the scream more like is she considered like a scream queen because she's never like the final girl. She's like always like the villain. So and she just got into that situation where she kicked the extra in the head. Oh, One Night at Flumpty's is a horror game. Oh, that's cool. I gotta check that out. Do you know Freddy's Friday? Now, are these all horror games? I'll watch them. I don't know. I'll play them. I've only just been playing like Alan Awake or such. Last Voyage of the Demeter, that was pretty cool. The ending could have been better. Redfield, the same thing. I sort of liked it at the first watching it, but then the thought of rewatching it sort of drops my value on it. Like some of these, like, yeah, it's good from like bell to bell. Like I go, oh, okay, cool. From opening to ending, I go, yeah, that's fun. But it's nothing like, oh man, I got to rewatch that or I want to see a sequel from it. But here's are the ones like I go, oh man, this is I sort of want a sequel for it. Exorcist here, Exorcist Believer. I see a lot of people it's so like popular the hate on this movie. And it's like, yeah, we just heard David Gordon Green dropped out of coming up with the sequel because it was supposed to be a trilogy, but they sort of backed out from it. But I think it was a good time. Like I thought it's like a good it's almost like a good family horror movie. My whole family was excited to see it. So I get what they were going for. They weren't going for like, oh, it's gonna be so scary, it's gonna mind fuck you, or it's gonna be like see, because the Conjuring and everything already did it. And even like how the poster, the girl just walked out there and was like the body and the blood. Like, why did she go out there and pee on the floor right there? That would have made the whole movie a lot better. Like I would appreciate something like that. And you go, oh yeah, it's like a callback to the first one or something like that. That's why it's like, dude, they paid $400 million for three Exorcist movies, and they only made one. And I don't think it made like $150 million or something like that. So they'll break even if they do all three, or maybe they'll do four or something like that. I don't know, but I definitely believe they probably won't even call it Deceiver or something like that. They're like, all right, it's like those directors with like, oh, Night Swim and Night Swim 2 is gonna be cool at 3. Like, dude, you're already planning out sequels. You didn't even plan out to make the first one cool. Like, that's what happens when you announce a trilogy right off the bat. At least like Halloween 2018 was like, all right, dude, we're gonna make this, and it got received very well. So now we're doing 2 and 3. Like you at least need a first good one to launch a trilogy. That's the rules. Can't wait to see this film. Oh wait. Do you know Billy Chapman from Silent Night, Daily Night? Yes, I do. That's a good movie. I actually like Silent Night, Deadly Night 2, like because you go like, oh well, you get all the good stuff from the first one, and you get some like new stuff, and the whole is that the Garbage Day one too? But yeah, that one's cool, and yeah, they should definitely try to remake that one. Do you know the NWA? Yeah, niggas with attitude. So Exorcist Believer, they'll definitely make another one. Pope's Exorcist too. If you guys didn't see Pope's Exorcist, I think it's even on Netflix or something like that. Yeah. It's a good one, man. Out of all the Exorcist and Possession movies this year, Russell Crowe brought it. And it's like it was so refreshing to see tits. We saw like nudity in an Exorcist movie. You're like, oh man, I can't remember the last horror movie that I got to see nudity in. Like they totally took away nudity away from horror movies and stuff like that. Besides well, just besides X, I think is the last one. And movies in general, besides Poor Things, if you haven't seen Poor Things, Emma Stone is like totally naked for about 20 minutes of that movie or something. It's very hot. But yeah, that and he's just a cool ass character, dude. Like, oh yeah, I just bullshit him, and he didn't believe a lot of the people he was doing exorcisms on it. They needed exorcisms, they needed theatrics. It was fun. I liked it. I hope we actually get like they left you off on a cliffhanger, like they're gonna make a couple of more, and they should keep at it. It's a Wonderful Knife was cool. I don't know about. Yeah, I didn't notice how gay it was. Like every character was gay in it. Oh, she ended up being gay. Her brother was gay. And I guess the director's gay, so I guess that's their prerogative. But besides that, I didn't even notice all that gay stuff at first. Because, dude, you just put a gay people in everything, like how Cartman did. Like, put a chick in it, make her gay. You're like, dude, you see a lot of that already. I didn't notice it till someone pointed it out. I was like, oh damn, dude, there's a lot of gay people there. It's probably like chasing Amy when you start to look around and you see all the chicks making out. You're like, oh shit, I'm at a gay bar. I'm at a lesbian bar. Oh wow. But besides that, it's a cool like who done it when well, not even a who done it. There's a who done it by who's the second killer and everything, but it's like, oh, you killed Justin Long in the very beginning. And yeah, it felt weird that Justin Long belonged in like a different movie, but I wouldn't mind if they did like a sequel to this and made it better. Dark Harvest was cool. No one ever talked about that. I didn't see it in too many people's like top tens lists. Hey, Dominic St. Clair, what's going on? What's your favorite NWA song? Oh, dude, Dope Man is a good one. Dope Man, Dope Man. All the stuff with the Boys in the Hood, that one's a favorite. I even like the Easy solo album they did afterwards. Like, yeah, and they had like diss tracks versus each other. It was great. Yeah, but I haven't been listening to a lot of rap lately. Slaughterhouse, that one was cool. I think that's on Hulu. Oh, that's the best PG-13 one. And you're like, dude, it's a sorority without nudity and everything. Are you kidding? But the animal was cute. And this is like a good horror movie to watch with like if you have like a nephew over or something like that. This is the prime, like, all right, this sort of worked as a PG-13 one. Like it's sort of like for people that like not old enough to really get all the other stuff. But even some of the kills were sort of cool. The characters were funny. It was more of a comedy than anything, but yeah, I fucks with that. Wrath of Becky, that one was cool. I saw even some people put that like way lower on their list. It's a sequel to the other one. Like, damn, dude, it's like a opposite of a home. Well, it was a home invasion movie, but in the first one, they invaded her home and then she had to kill them all, and it was more like Home Alone. And this one is more like they invaded her house and killed her like adoptive mom that took her in, and then she goes and tries to kill them all. And it's like a thing about the Proud Boys and all that stuff. They're like Pride Men. I forget what they called their group and everything, but yeah, it was fun. Cobweb. Everyone loved this, but I still didn't see that in a lot of people's like top tens and everything. I think everyone said it was cool, but no one said like oh it's their best or something or top five. But the suspense was cool, but damn dude, it seemed like it took them an hour to get to it, and it had home uh dang dude, what's that guy from the boys? It had the guy from the boys and Lizzie Chaplin in it. But they didn't get like any like good deserving deaths. It seemed like they just got poisoned and died, and that's it. And you're like, damn dude, you had to have that monster kill them or something, dude. That would have been cool. I like to see another House on Sorority Row film. Dude, those are good. That was a good film too. I think they made one and then a remake, and I think that's it for now. Like, yeah, like we need more of that. Like that atmosphere is so fun. I even like watching Neighbors. Like I was at college. I went to college. I didn't go to no. I went to some frat parties and such, but it's just a cool nostalgic like oh yeah I want to get to know these characters and that life and everything they're very fun. Yeah, Cobweb was Pretty good, dude. I like the monster effects too, but we didn't get to see enough of the monster. Totally Killer. I don't know what's with my internet. Totally Killer was also fun. I was surprised like this didn't hit with everybody either. I was like when I was making this video, I was like, dude, this is going to fuck. This is going to kill. And like I had all the footage and stuff like that, and I got an editor to help me out on it, and it just was like and I think that's how most people feel about it because it really didn't go into like the thing was he had to stab people 16 times, but I think it went in the horror comedy, it was more like comedy horror, and most of the kills weren't that creative. Yeah, if you have to stab somebody 16 times to kill somebody, it's not that creative, but I would like to see a sequel to this. So maybe like last time they went back to the 80s, let's go to the 90s, man, because I think even going back to the 80s, nobody remembers the 80s anymore. Like, dude, when the 80s ended, I was still like like not even elementary school and everything. So I think if you're gonna do more nostalgia and everything, do the 90s, do the early 2000s, 90s, late 90s, 2000s. I think like after Stranger Things and stuff like so like the atmosphere was cool, but it seems like this would have been better like maybe like 10 years ago when like 80s nostalgia was high. Now it's more like 90s. So maybe the atmosphere sort of hurt this. And it was cool. I liked it and I hope we get a sequel. Now we get to Megan. I know some people didn't like it. Oh, I keep saying, like, which is the best PG-13 horror movie that come? And Megan was cool. And I remember they were like every PG-13 movie that came out, we always heard, like, well, Megan was supposed to be rated R at first. And you saw that, like, from the first trailer, there was like blood splatters inside the elevator, stuff like that. Then we finally got to go to Peacock to finally see like the unrated version of Megan, and it was just a couple of drops more blood or something. Or when she killed that girl with the hose, her face like peeled off a little bit. Like even the unrated stuff wasn't like, oh man, it totally blew our mind. So that's why I go like, well, if we were gonna do like a Five Nights at Freddy's unrated, it'd probably end up like the same thing. Like it wasn't gonna do, it wasn't going to do totally something different. I laugh at the main character corrected people in the 80s where no one gave a damn. Oh, yeah, it was all about like woke culture and stuff like that. Like, dude, you're smoking in the car with those kids. Like, yeah, that was pretty funny. Because I don't think you could do that in the 90s, because by the 90s, I think it was like Jerry Springer and it was Attitude Era Wrestling and all this other stuff. It was like, yeah, people really didn't care as much as like the 80s about stuff like that. Like it got more wild. But in the 80s it seems more wild like that. Yeah. So the 80s aspect was pretty cool too. But that's why, like, what Fear Street, 1992 or four or something. The soundtrack was awesome. All that nostalgia, like that carried that movie, that Fear Street. Like, I think my favorite Fear Street is the '80s one because the setting was so cool. It was like a campy slasher, which is really fun. But the '90s one was really fun too. So yeah, '90s nostalgia for sure. All right, Megan was cool. And we're getting Megan 2.0. Oh, When Evil Lurks. If you didn't see When Evil Lurks, do yourself a favor and go see that. It's on Shutter now, and it's the best foreign film in this. I think this is the only foreign film on this list. Or some people call Godzilla or something, and I sort of don't. I don't know. Most people count Godzilla minus one on their list, but I really like that movie too, but I did put Bo's Afraid on there. I don't know. I just didn't add Godzilla minus one on here. I should have made a video about it, but dude, I didn't have enough trailer footage for that. But When Evil Lurks, it's sort of went under the radar for a bit, but I heard a lot of people talking about it. I think even like Chris Stuckman made a video about it and it did well, but yeah, dude, I just love this high premise of it. Like, this is dying to be like sort of remade in American audiences. Like, yeah, just do it again in English and have some different actors and such like that. I would love it. I know some people are against that, but dude, it was such a good movie and such a high premise. Like, dude, the demon jumps from one person to another person, and they're sort of stuck in that body until they die. So they purposely go out and like maybe try to kill themselves to go inside a new body. And they give you sort of these rules like don't use a fire. It's just go watch When Evil Lurks. It's super fun. Oh, when the autistic boy, they found out like he was autistic, and then the demon could figure out how to get to him. That's why his hands crinkled up, and then he was just walking around normal. And you're like, oh damn! So it's like demons can cure autism or whatever was wrong with that kid. Oh, here you go. I count Godzilla minus one because it's more horror than action. I guess you know what I will do video once they come out on like video, like on digital things. I will make a Godzilla minus one video. Fuck it, because it was a creature feature. I'm just like debated it because it's like we have so many other Godzilla movies, so it's like if you consider every Godzilla movie a horror movie. But Jurassic Park is sort of like a horror movie because it's a creature feature. It is, and it's a bit of Jaws when he was sticking his head out of the water. And to me, it felt like more of a war drama, like war drama horror. I just didn't add it to the list, but if I were to add it in here, it would probably be in the top five. But I definitely got to watch it again. It's still in theaters, I think, too. Like, I was expecting it. Like, that's why I didn't make a video about it at first. I was like, dude, it'll probably 17 days. It's going to be like on video, like digital. And then I'll make like a kick ass video for it. And it's going to be cool. And it's going to fuck. But no, it's still, I think that came out the 1st of December. So it's only been like a month and a half. So I was thinking it was gonna come out digitally soon, but some of these, like the Me one, came out and then it didn't come out to video on demand for like 8, 9 months or something like that. Long time. I want a Megan action figure already so far. There's only a Nika Tooney Tears figure coming out. That's the only official license released so far. Crazy. The selling collectible potential. Yeah, dude. Why don't you get a real Megan doll? I'm pretty sure. Like, I'm going to a horror convention in a couple of weeks, and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna see a couple of Megans there. And I think even during like Halloween, I saw some Megans. Yeah, the collectible potential for all stuff Megan is pretty cool. Well, there was an SNL sketch about Megan, and I think it's like the gays really like Megan for some reason. Or they made a parody about Megan 2.0 is gonna be like Megan's a friends of the gays and they're in gay club or something like that. I didn't get it. I don't know. But I think there's like a gay cast member. He writes a whole bunch of gay stuff for it. But I really like Megan. That it was cool, and I would just like it. I think like Megan versus Chucky, they definitely go like versus anybody, dude. Why don't we? Everybody talks about like how much like oh versus this and versus that. Let's start versus seeing a couple of people. Like I think my audio got messed up. Yeah, yeah. They definitely made Megan to fight Chucky someday. But yeah, it's gonna be cool. Hello? Damn. Thanks. Am I coming in now? Hello? Yeah. I think my little green dot saying it's good. Yeah, because I'm a little bit late to ranking everything. I was even gonna do a ranking back in December, but I was like, dude, there's still a bunch of horror movies to watch. But this is how they come off, dude. Well, here's the rest of it. Sick was so cool too. I saw people put this in the bottom. Like, come on, man. That it deserved more than that. It's by Kevin Williamson. I love the whole plot about I remember the girl's sort of insufferable, and she's like, but she reminds me of sort of like ex girlfriends of mine. Like, I think she's rich, and I remember dating a rich girl like that. And then she like had a plate. And I remember like, oh, why can't I go to that cabin and stuff like that? So I get the guy like going there and meeting her, and he's supposed to be a red herring too. And some of the stuff, like the best friend falling off the roof, you're like, dude, that would have really messed you up. I'm surprised she didn't die for that. But the whole thing about the guy and the sire, like, they got the kid sick was so fun. The motive was really fun. And I would really like a sequel to this too. Like, to them, the pandemic's not over, right? Like, or just more family members coming after her, or it's pretty much a one-off. Like, I think if it came out like when it came out, I think we were still like, oh man, was still worried about COVID a little bit. But yeah, that thing has passed, man. I think we all got COVID like 3 or 4 times already, and you can't blame anybody for like purposely giving COVID to anybody anymore. But crazy people don't need like a real rational motive. Got you back. Missed a lot of shit. Oh, sorry, dude. I heard the next VHS is set in the early 2000s. Yeah, I think they keep going back on the VHSs. They keep going like, well, we're doing VHS. Damn, dude, like 90s, 80s. Yeah, they keep I like the VHSs, but it's like, I don't know. It's just the found footage thing. I don't really like found footage. Versus idea is cool when you was a teenager, but the reality is pretty suck ass movie wise. All right, let's get back to the list. All right, so sick. The Blackening. If you haven't seen the Black, it's more comedy than horror. If the most comedy horror, like Cocaine Bear's more like comedy horror, and the Blackening's comedy horror. Sort of like I would liken it to like Scary Movie. But if you like that sort of stuff, like I really like it, and they're doing a blackening too. So if you did good enough to earn a sequel, like not a lot of these movies have a sequel coming. I think Saw X is having Saw 11. Evil Dead Rise will eventually get like a sequel or another Evil Dead. They're doing Talk to Me too. They're doing Thanksgiving. That's why it's like, all right, you need to be in the top five if they already said you're good enough to get a sequel done, especially if it's a first one. Well, Winnie the Pooh's getting a sequel too, but what other sequels? Children of the Corn, they'll probably make another one. They'll probably make another. That's why it's like The Exorcist. Yeah, that one sucked, but it'll get a sequel eventually. They'll try to redo it again. Then of course, like Scream 6. I don't know how much I could talk more about Scream 6. Or is it better than 5? And then with all the Scream 7 sort of news happening, you don't know if it's gonna happen. I even saw people putting like Scream 7 on the anticipated list until they were like, no, it and Christopher Landon dropping out, like and it was a dream of his to do a Scream movie and he dropped out. I would have to say it's sort of like what Dave Chappelle said. Maybe your dream wasn't that strong or something. Like, come on, man. If it was a dream thing, and people were threatening me and writing all Twitter stuff, I'd cancel my Twitter, dude. Like, focus on your money. Focus on doing the Scream 7. And the radio silence guys, I guess they like we saw that they're doing the Abigail project. So it's like, all right, well, they wanted to do something original or something, or I think it's like they did Ready or Not, and people are already like, why don't you do Ready or Not too? But they did Scream 5 and 6 like back to back years, and that's pretty impressive. But then Thanksgiving came along and totally like mostly slashers. I wish we would have got more slashers this year. But Thanksgiving sort of edges it out to me because it's the first one. Um it went totally more on the gore factor. The gore was like a bit done better, even though Scream 6 probably had one of the best gore out of the whole series. It's just Thanksgiving just did it for me a little bit more in there. But like all these five, it's hard to even go like, well, Scream 6 is better than that or whatever. I really like Scream 6, and it's definitely gonna be top five for me. That Alien Home Invasion movie from Hulu, what's it called? I saw that one. Oh yeah, no one will save you. That was dude, Hulu's been doing good with all its like originals. Cuz that one was cool, Prey was cool. They've had a comedy on there too. Vacation Friends is fun. Dude, Hulu's been doing good at doing some originals. Probably even better than like Netflix or something. Saw X has two planned sequels. Holy shit. Two of them? We're going to get Saw 13? Dude, as soon as Saw X, I was like, it was about time one of the Saws like did very well to kickstart the series because I think Jigsaw came out and that sort of like messed up their whole flow. And then then the next one came out and it sort of messed it up too. But Saw X came out and fucked everything up, and then like yeah, they finally got a trilogy for it. Was the Christopher Rock one? Yeah, Spiral. That When Evil Lurks thumbnail looks exactly like the old children of the corny HS. Oh, does it? Oh, with them floating up and everything? Let me see. Yeah, it was old school aliens too. I liked it. It was cool. I would like to see her more stuff, like a role where she's actually like talking. But it's just the no dialogue and everything that did it for me. And Talk to Me is probably the most original. And, like all these are getting sequels. So that's why I put them up here. And I just loved Evil Dead Rise. Like, I love Saw X. The Saw X, like, my whole family liked it. My mom, my sister, my brother, everybody could mess with Saw X. Evil Dead Rise felt like it was more just for us, like just for fans of Evil Dead. Like, oh, that's Bruce Campbell in there. And and it had a maze at Universal Studios. Yeah, I guess I'm talking about Evil Dead Rise. And then just the series sort of just been kept alive. I'm a big fan of the video game too. It made Lee Cronin a bit better in my book. Like, oh, I want to see what this guy does next. And I think I also ranked it like movies to buy. I go, dude, once it becomes available on iTunes, did I think about buying it? Or I was like, no, I'm buying it no matter what. Boom. you know? And I couldn't wait to watch it again. And there's just the gore was cool along with the storytelling. I even like some of the jokes. It was like a family dynamic. I just liked everything about Evil Dead Rise. And Saw X was cool. And I think I can understand why people didn't put Saw. I know why Talk to Me is a bit more original, but I just go and I even like my niece. She was like, me and my friends went to go see Talk to Me late at night. It scared the shit out of me. I go, dude, really? It scared the shit out of you? Talk to Me did? But Evil Dead Rise wasn't scary like that. None of these movies really like scared me. Maybe when Evil Lurks, that was a bit scary. You didn't know what was like happening and everything. Maybe it'd been scary if you would saw it in a movie theater or something like that. But yeah, just Saw X was so cool. Like no movie has actually made like remember they tried to make they tried to make Leatherface a good guy in Texas Chainsaw, and they tried to make Jason sort of a good guy killing the rapist and Jason Takes Manhattan. Like, dude, he's been a villain for 9 movies already. Then all of a sudden in this one, he pulls off being like the hero. Yeah, you know what? I might even put Saw X as number one. I don't know. It's hard. They're all sort of interchangeable. And they're long lasting series as well, but it's so rare that the 10th in a movie ends up being the best one. So it's the best Saw film. And I remember rewatching them. I should have done a whole like trap count series because I remember when I did this video, it blew up 250,000 views or something like that. And I should have just like doubled down, like, you know what? More Saw content. But I think I was focused on let me make Total Killer because it came out the end of September. And just October was just so packed with everything. You had the Chucky TV show as well. I gotta figure out how to make content faster then or something. I saw Good Boy with Judy Greer on Hulu. Really? Oh, I gotta finish watching that. Hellraiser and Prey are pretty. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention. Yeah, Hellraiser on Hulu was pretty cool. But it's like we still didn't get a sequel to that. Or I heard David Gordon Green was supposed to get. He was supposed to do like a Hellraiser TV show or something like that. But thank you for that recommendation, Royce. I'm gonna actually watch that. I love Judy Greer too. She was cool in that Carrie remake and everything. I liked her in Halloween and Halloween Kills. They plan to make a sequel to Spiral and 2 main films, which I heard about. They have a trap each other in the yeah. Oh, okay. See, I think whenever they try to plan like, oh, we're gonna make a trilogy, it never plans out. Like I think Saw X are like, what if we just do a good Saw film? And then they go, damn, dude, now we gotta do a sequel because it did so well. You gotta focus on one at a time, I guess. Like try to do one good, and then if that does good, then you got it. Don't plan out like a trilogy already. Like you have to come with your best foot forward or something. I don't know if that's what they did. Like well, Hellraiser and Prey were good, but they're not getting sequels, it seems like. But yeah, Saw X was definitely cool, and I can see why it's getting a sequel. Or it's so good, 11 could suck, and they'll still make 12, it feels like. It seems like even though some of the Saws suck, there's such hardcore fans of it, like it don't matter. It'll still make enough money. But I guess with Jigsaw and Spiral, they're like, dude, let's get back. Let's give Tobin Bell all the screen time. Let's invest in these characters and let's do something different, like making him a good guy. Like that's exactly like, dude, imagine if they brought Freddy Krueger back and he was a good guy. Like it like you ever saw that South Park episode where the government went to Freddy Krueger and made him sort of a good guy? They could totally do that. Like I could see them turning a bunch of old bad boogeymen into good guys in the future, which would be cool. I mean, it's something different. I mean, it worked for Saw X. That's the first time it ever worked. Like that's why after hearing that, I was like sort of skeptical. Like, okay, all right, but these are also bad people. But I don't know how you do from Saw X to Saw 11, and Saw 11, he's supposed to be like a bad guy again, or is he still going to hunt down people, or it's going to be about Hoffman or something like that? I don't know. But I think they should keep up, like maybe the Cecilia thing. She comes back and tries to kill him or something like that, or he actually goes kills the father. Like there's still like Saw X introduced so much stuff that he could still do. So did Evil Dead Rise. You know, I always remember the freezer trap from one of the Saw movies. That's probably one of the most memorable traps for me. Hose the girl with water periodically chained inside. Oh yeah, which one was that? The Frozen one. Ah, that was like sick. I don't think it was one of the more popular sequels, but that one was a cool kill. Have you watched Stranger Things? Yeah, I've done videos on Stranger Things season 3. I did 4. And I'll definitely be doing 5. Yeah, because even it's hard to cover like TV shows because TV shows are so different. And it's like I think the most recent TV shows got to cover was Chucky. But dude, I couldn't even post a 30-second clip. Like, if anything, I would just have to do a stream and I talk about it or something like that. I mean, that's not bad, but I don't know. I wanted to do some more like TV shows like that, but it's hard to edit. That like TV shows are so hard to edit. There's so much footage to go through. But Stranger Things is definitely worth it because Stranger Things season 4 was great. Oh, Megan is the good girl in the sequel. Oh yeah, they're doing like T2 with her. She was an evil robot. Now she's gonna be like a turn good guy. That's gonna be cool. I'm about that. Cause not so often you see that pulled off successfully. Let's see. Yeah, Evil Dead Rise. I don't know what else you could do, dude. I heard they might be doing like a crossover universe. Like it's supposed to be 3 books of the Necromonicon, and now that's one book from the story. Another book is that Evil Dead, the remake one. So they're all sort of in the same universe. So I don't know. They could do something cool with that. I'm down for whatever. I'm down for more like, dude, can't we get Evil Dead Rise level on the video game? I know all these video games are sort of like dying and dead. Like they only last like a month or something like that. Because you play, you rank up, you get to the highest rank, and you sort of bounce and move on to the next thing. Like I remember some years, like, oh, you play Call of Duty all the way up to the next year. And now you sort of don't do that no more. There's so many good games and stuff coming out that you sort of just get like, yeah, okay. I feel like that with TV shows. You just go, okay, because even if I hear there's a good TV show, like, I don't know, dude, just tell me the one good season. I can't, because none of them are good all the way through and through either. But something like Stranger Things is. But yeah, I'll definitely be covering that. And I'm gonna change up how I do things too. I want to do more like trailer reaction and easier videos to do, videos with FaceTime in it and everything. Uh, because kill counts are cool right now, but just seems to have slowed down as well too. I don't think they changed the algorithm or something like that. Like maybe kill counts is not a popular term anymore or something. But I even get like Saw X, like it's just the big horror movie releases too. Like Saw X, I didn't even call it kill count or something. Did trap count and it did like crazy good numbers for me. And Thanksgiving, I had to call it a turkey count because every time I put Thanksgiving kill count typed it in, boom, limited ads. Like shit, dude, what the hell? Thanksgiving turkey count went. Oh, okay, cool. So the title was the only thing messing up my ads, man, messing with my money. So I don't know. And then I was like, oh, that'll be cool. But not every movie has the sort of thing like that, like the screen stab count, or oh, maybe that's something like that. But yeah, probably if I do a series, it'd be like a Saw trap count. Like that's fun. Just go through all the traps in every single movie. Because you also look like what's the most popular videos out on YouTube to do? It's like Saw how to beat. Like I like that by Nerd Explains and everything. This stream is all supposed to be the most anticipated. So, oh, do you collect physical media? Support it? Yeah, I do, dude. I'm more of a digital media guy because you know what? I think I'm almost done with this anyway. I'm more of a digital media guy because it's like I like watching on my phone. I like watching it like put it on my iPad and I'll watch it at the gym or on the treadmill or something like that. Or you download it, you watch on a plane, or like if I go anywhere, I like to bring like my Apple TV or Fire Stick or something like that, and I like to plug it in to wherever I'm at and then watch whatever I like. It's like it's so hard. The only thing I got to play digital media and everything's a PS5 or what? What I have here. Maybe I'll do a video about like. Oh yeah, look at that. If you own any physical media, I don't think I own that many 4Ks and everything. But if you get because there's no 4K of Return Living Dead on digital or something, or at least like iTunes or something like that. But dude, this one looks so damn clear. I had to get it. And like now that's the only way I watch it because it's such a night and day difference. And the special features are so cool too. That's even with digital media too. If they don't give you any special features or something like that, I'm like, dude, I'm not even gonna mess with you. Like, if you're going to give me something digitally, at least make it worth my while. Please do a kill count for the Netflix they clone. I'm always trying to do like new trendy ones because whenever I do an old one, it has to be like something I really like. Because I remember, yeah, I even did like I want to do some more old ones, like maybe Return to the Living Dead again because I did that like a while ago. And it's also like I don't want to step on anybody else's toes. I want me to do it, and they take all my thunder. But I think it's also good if they do it too, because then your numbers go up, and I see my recommendations go up from like videos like that. So it becomes like a bigger title. You get recommended, and you get in the algorithm more. But yeah, I definitely would like to collect more physical media because dude like I'm a big fan of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and straight up Hulu went, oh, any episode they have blackface in, boom, gone. And you're like, dude, I can't watch those anywhere. It sucks. So yeah, but when I usually do like new releases and new stuff, but when I do like old stuff, like it doesn't do as well, or it has to be something with like a big following, like maybe I'll do The Thing or Return Living Dead or The Shining or something like that. Or it's got to be a reason for it. It's got to be like trending. And I thought that movie was cool, but I thought it was more of the action side or something, or just the sci-fi. What do you think of horror games? I still gotta see that, dude, and it's on Shutter. Shutter's been pretty cool too, dude. And I also like watching the old shit on Shutter too. Like they put like Bride of Reanimator on and everything, which is super fun. There's a very crappy YouTube film I direct. It's called Thing Being and Gil, and there's three sequels. Such a dumb. Well, that's cool, man. You made like a fan film. That's cool, dude. I'd like to do something like that someday. Like my boy Kill Boy Jake, he made the his Red Right Hand fan film. Dave McRae's doing fan films and crushing it. Oh, of course, I had that Vincent DeSanti on for an interview, and dude, that guy crushes it as well. So yeah, I fully support physical media, but spend my money collecting action figures currently. Yeah, I mean, collect. Yeah, whatever you do to like to collect. Like, do you not like physical media? But action figures are cool too, dude. Like, or you keep them in the boxes, they go up in value or something like that. Or Planet CHH, you gotta follow him, man, because he actually has like so much. He's the physical media master. This guy goes out and gets like physical media copies for Japan and stuff they never released here in America. Buy some of the spin your grades on holograph Blu-rays before the digital cloud erases them. Yeah, dude, like they get erased. I remember watching something like what's that Netflix movie? Um, the one with Julia Roberts right now, where it's like the end, leave the world behind. You're like, oh yeah, dude. Well, it's sort of like, yeah, without the internet, without anything, you're fucked. You're gonna be left with nothing. Or, dude, they just did the whole thing with PlayStation. If you have a PlayStation and you're buying stuff off there, they're like, well, our license and goodbye. And you're like, oh shit, that sucks. You don't get a refund or anything on all that shit you bought for it. So I think even though you have to trust who you buy your digital copies from, I say do something like Apple or Amazon, and they're not going anywhere. Like PlayStation or like I don't know, and it's so dumb. Like you can't watch that on your phone. I think the main thing is like, oh, I like it how portable it is. Like, oh, I could watch that on my, the iPad or a tablet or something like that. Have you watched the series from on MGM? Can you do a kill count? Well, no, I can't. I haven't even watched that. What's MGM Plus? I don't know. It's so hard to actually like come. The way I do it, it's like mostly stuff from theaters because even some of the ones that like came out, I think like if it comes out and all the footage is out, I think I sort of get like buried underneath like everybody releases stuff. I thought my whole special thing is like I'll cut up a trailer and do it, but I like to use all the footage if I can. And the watch time is better on videos that do that. Or yeah, I'm trying to do a bunch of videos on a bunch of new things, but usually like stuff that's just coming out because that's the highest amount of like trends and stuff. Every time I do something that's not like current or something, it sort of gets like buried. But I'll try to figure something out. Or if people actually watch my stuff every time I uploaded it, that would help. Oh, let's go do something really quick, real maybe for next time. Here, let me see. Share screen.
Out there looking forward to the next big comic book movie or from X, this time moving to
I was actually gonna do the most anticipated. Yeah, like 3C Films. This guy, he the most hard working YouTuber out there, dude. I think he put Maxine in there. Maxine's probably my most anticipated uh movie for next year. And X and Pearl, we're almost like that. If Maxine is even like almost as good as the other two movies, it's gonna be like the most perfect horror trilogy of all time. Well, let me see. All right, I'm gonna be wrapping up here soon, but I'll come back with the most anticipated list because that's a whole thing too, dude. We had to break down like the whole list of worst to best because I was so frustrated. Other people kept doing like, "Oh, Winnie the Pooh is at the end" or something like that. Let me see. Let's see. Who ranked all the best and worst? There you go. Cody Leach worst horror movies. Well, it's not recent.
Mr. McCandless. This is Bella. Hello, Bella.
They must have heard me because I think I mentioned Poor Things. See, I think even see the worst of 2023.
so it starts off where you have Ben Affleck and he's like this was people on the poster, no matter essentially she's talking about the events.
Yeah, see, I think he even put Exorcist in the worst of the worst. Like, dude, that's a lot. All right, I think next time. I think that's fun. We'll go over people's list. about like ranking like what they consider the worst. But yeah, I don't see how Exorcist Believer is the worst. Exorcist Believer is still probably one of the best Exorcist sequels. Like 2 is really bad. 3 the prequels are awful. I like Exorcist Believer. All right, thanks, Royce. Yeah, I'm wrapping up here too. I don't know. I'm not like Killjoy Jake, man. That guy does like 2.5 hours on these streams. But yeah, most anticipated. I'll do another list for that or something, or I'll get a bunch of trailers for it, or make a whole nother video for it. I see a lot of people doing those and worst ofs. That's why I had to represent and go like, no, dude, Exorcist, Believer, and stuff like that is nowhere near the worst of. I think most of everyone's best of seems like the same. Like it seems like okay, everyone could go like Saw X, Talk to Me, maybe Thanksgiving's up there, but yeah, near the bottom, I think that's where everyone sort of disagrees. Like Anya's Man, yes, very bad, nefarious. Some of you people even like Brooklyn 4-5. Pet Cemetery's Bloodline. Fear was so bad that it was actually like I think it might have been a comedy how bad it was. And Skinamarink, I would really get a refund on that. Like if I paid money to see that in the theaters, no. I was this close to seeing that in the theaters, but I got one of the leaked copies and I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I go like, no way in hell. Like I meant like I live in Los Angeles, whatever, and then, like you go to like one like a museum or something, and you're just walking through exhibit. That is something that would just be like in an exhibit, sort of like in a museum. That's nowhere like paying a movie just to see that thing. It's like a bullshit thing they play in like a haunted house or something like that. I should have said this is like a roast of all the. I should have. I don't know. It's just going over the list. I know we're super late to it too. And I actually think something in the barn. It was or oh, I didn't even mention that something in the barn. Something in the barn. It's almost like a ripoff of like Gremlins, but they were also drinking. It was sort of dumb. It took like an hour to get to it, and I was sort of like that was a movie. I was like, oh, I really hope that's gonna be good. I'm gonna make a kill count about it, but it just sort of it's hard to make a movie about it where it's like I had nothing really to say about it, and yeah, and I was sick like all December. It sucked. So yeah, it's hard to do something like that. All right. Well, thanks everybody for showing up and hope you watch it on replay. And I'll come back with like a most anticipated list. And what else I'm gonna do? We're gonna do like Founders Day. That's coming out this week too. So Founders Day, Godzilla, if that ever comes out. I guarantee you, you'll love from there. It's like 200 kills. All right, cool, dude. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, if no one dies in it, I don't really mess with it. But all right, thanks everybody. Watch some stuff. I got some shorts that's killing it. Look out for more short content and live streams in the future and trailer reactions. And all right, take it easy.